Hey guys, and welcome to day 4 of the 10-day challenge. I've got a great activity for you today. I think you're going to really like it, especially if you like crisps. Now, before we start, I've got a very important announcement to make. Yesterday, I said roll credits, and I've been told off by my best friend because the credits come at the end of a program. What I meant was roll titles. So, roll titles! Okay, everyone, hands up if you like crisps. That's quite a few. I love crisps too, but they're not very good for you. Now, we'll ignore that for a minute and we'll concentrate on what I want you to do today. I've got a special challenge. This is it. I want you to come up with the weirdest flavour crisps that you can imagine, and then, because it doesn't just end there, guys, then I want you to design your crisp packet. What is it going to look like? What colours? What are they going to go with? The different flavours. It all needs to go together. We want a nice pattern on the front. Now, I've got a suggestion for the title of the crisps. They're going to be called Willie's Crisps. And I better explain why you're going to call them that. So today we're going to have a little look at one of my books. Here it is, Star Friend. This is one of my most popular ones. And in the book, there's a man called Willie. Here's Willie. But this story isn't actually about Willie. It's about Alice. And Alice has to move house. Here's Alice. But when Alice moves, she gets to move into this amazing house. Check this out. Now, Alice goes to live there because her mum is going to be the cook for Willie and her dad is going to be the gardener. And they go there and they unpack and they unload, and then that night they go for a walk around the gardens. Willie's gardens are enormous, and round the back they find a massive lake with an island in the middle. Feeling hungry, they all go back home, and Alice sees the most amazing thing. She sees a shooting star. Have you ever seen a shooting star? Well, I tell you what, I've seen a few. And if you know anything about shooting stars, you are supposed to make a... That's right, a wish. So Alice makes a wish and she wishes for her best friend. And the next day she goes to that island because that's where the shooting star crash lands. And she's expecting to find her old friend from where she used to live, but instead she finds... Alice takes Poola and they go back across the lake in a boat, which Willie sees. I'll show you a picture of that later on. And to get back in the house, Alice has to hide Poola in her backpack. And that's where we've got up to. So I'm going to read you what happens next. Are you ready? Good. Star Friend, Chapter 14. Alice quickly popped her head through the front door and looked around. The hall was empty, except for the suits of armour and the paintings. "We'll head straight upstairs, okay?" she said. "Go, go, go," Poola answered. Alice dashed across the tiled floor. Her soaked shoes squelched and echoed in the tall, empty space. She raced up the stairs and then slowed down again so she could sneak past Willie's apartment. The door opened and Alice nearly jumped out of her skin. Was it Mum or Willie? "Good morning, Alice," boomed a deep, loud voice. "Hello," Alice said, using the code word and quickly spinning around to look at Willie. I saw you on the boat out the window. I don't mind you using it, but make sure you're safe." "Of course, Professor. I'll be careful." "It looked like you were going very fast." "I must have a special talent," Alice smiled. "I could train you. I was in the Oxbridge boat race, you know. You'd be unstoppable." "It's been nice chatting, Professor Wallace, but I really need to get home." "Have you seen your mother? I sent her downstairs to clean, but now I'd like a cup of tea. Perhaps I could make it." "And one for you too, of course." Alice smiled and hoped Poola would stay quiet. "That's very kind, Professor Wallace, but I really need to get home." "Are you all right, child? You keep calling me Professor Wallace. Are you up to something?" "Who, me?" Alice said. "Yes, you, Alice. What have you got on your back?" Willie stepped to one side so he could see the pack better. "What's this poking up the top? It looks like an ear." "It's a cuddly toy. I found it on the island." Alice froze. She could feel Willie pulling the top of the bag open. "It's very hairy." "Hey!" Poola shouted out. "Who are you calling hairy? Baldy?" Chapter 15. Alice wanted to run upstairs. "It's alive," Willie said. "What is it? Where did it come from?" Alice sighed. She'd been caught and she could lie no longer. "A shooting star landed on your island and I found him there. I think I wished for him." "Wished?" "Yes," Alice said, suddenly feeling foolish. "He's amazing," Willie whispered. Then he raised his arms above his head and did a little dance. "Quick, quick, come inside and bring your little friend," Willie said, beckoning Alice to enter his apartment. With a quick look over her shoulder to check Poola agreed, Alice walked inside. "I've been all over the world and seen every single creature in our beautiful, wonderful world. I've fed pandas. I've milked a yak. I've swum with dolphins. I've even been into the Himalayas to try and find the Yeti. But I've never, ever seen one of these. Please, will you let me see him?" "Don't I get to decide if you can or not?" Poola said crossly. "He can speak English?" Willie said in surprise. "Yes," said Alice, "and getting better all the time." "I can speak Poolan too. So will you stop talking about me as if I weren't here?" Poola said. "Of course. I'm sorry," Willie apologised. "How rude of me. Let's go into the kitchen, get you out of that backpack and have a drink." "Good idea," said Alice. "Food? Food? You have food?" Poola said cheerfully. "Of course," Willie said as he opened the kitchen door and walked in. Alice followed and put the pack on the floor so Poola could get out. "That's better," Poola said. "What do you eat?" Willie asked. "What do you have?" "What don't I have? I have food from all over the world. I fell in love with so many tastes as I travelled the globe." "Crisps? Do you have crisps?" Poola said. "Do I have crisps?" Willie laughed. "I make my own and experiment with different flavours. Would you like to try?" Well, I hope you really enjoyed that. And I hope you got a good sense of who Willie, Alice and Poola are. They're all a bit cheeky, aren't they? Now, this is what I want you to do. Willie, Alice and Poola, they go and make some crisps. And they eat far too many. Now, what I want you to do is to design for me those crisps. What amazing flavours do they come up with? Now, remember, Poola is an alien from another planet. So he might like to eat some really, really strange mixes of flavours. So choose a mixture of flavours and then design your packet of crisps. Now, your teacher or your mum or dad or whoever's looking after you will give you all the spellings that you need. So we're going to call them Willie's Crisps, and then you can decide what the rest of the packet looks like. When you've done it, what I'd really like you to do is see if your teacher or your mum or dad or whoever's looking after you, see if they can tweet me or email me or pictures through your website, because it would be great to show off some of your designs in one of my next videos. Right, I'm going to stop talking. You've listened for a long time. Well done. Hope you enjoyed the book. So remember, there's Star Friends. You can find out more about that on my website. Enjoy making your crisps. I'll see you tomorrow. Remember, keep safe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Ta-ra.